Did McLaren just find a legal loophole that gives them free DRS speed, even when DRS is turned off? Stay with me, because what you're about to see might just flip the F1 championship on its head, and the FIA might not be able to stop it. So, as mentioned earlier, the Baku Grand Prix gave us a shocking but clear sign. McLaren has introduced a radical rear-wing design that could change the sport. At first glance, it's subtle. But once you understand what's happening, it's massive. Fans are calling it genius, rival teams are calling for a ban, and the FIA? Well, they're caught in the middle. This mini DRS trick has sparked major controversy, and possibly a new aerodynamic arms race. Let's set the stage. In Baku, a comparison between McLaren, Red Bull and Ferrari cars all running down the main straight shows something peculiar. All three have DRS turned off, but McLaren's rear wing is doing something the others aren't. Watch closely. You're about to see a tiny aerodynamic detail that makes a huge difference. Unlike Red Bull and Ferrari, whose wings remain completely closed, McLaren's upper flap is slightly open. Not because the driver pressed a button, not because DRS is active. It's the wind, the aero pressure itself that's flexing it. And that's where the advantage begins. Using frame-by-frame analysis in multiviewer, the rear wing gap on the McLaren becomes undeniable. Air is being redirected more efficiently, drag is reduced, speed is increased. And the data doesn't lie. Ferrari's Leclerc, 321 km per hour without DRS. McLaren's Piastri, 324 km per hour under the same conditions. 3 km per hour may not sound like much, until you remember this is Formula One. It's enough to overtake, enough to win. Even when DRS is active, Ferrari edges ahead, 339.9 km per hour to McLaren's 335 km per hour. But without DRS, McLaren's trick makes them faster. Now zoom out. There's more at play here. This rear wing is just half the story. McLaren's front wing is also flexing, dynamically adjusting its shape under aero load. Mercedes has jumped on the same trend, and James Allison confirmed it gave them a massive boost in Canada. So what happens when you combine a mini DRS in the rear with a shape-shifting front wing? The answer? You get the fastest car on the grid. The car is more agile in corners, smoother on exits, faster in straights. It's not just a good setup, it's surgical innovation. And this raises a critical question. Is McLaren bending the rules? Or just outsmarting everyone? Let's look at the regulations. According to FIA rules, the DRS flap can only change angle via direct driver input and must be electronically controlled. Plus, when a 500 Newton horizontal load is applied, the flap must deflect no more than 7 millimeters. Here's the twist. McLaren's design passes all the tests, so technically they're legal. But morally, philosophically, that's where it gets messy. Some argue that if the flap moves in any way without driver command, especially relative to the rest of the wing, it should be deemed illegal. But again, unless the FIA revises their testing procedures, McLaren's flex stays in the game. And guess what? Ferrari isn't taking this quietly. Red Bull isn't either. In fact, they're fighting back, and they're doing it fast. Ferrari is expected to unveil their own flexi front wing, possibly at the US Grand Prix, COTA, or in Qatar. Red Bull is rumored to be prepping a similar design for deployment soon. Helmut Marko has already fired shots, saying if Mercedes and McLaren can get away with it, Red Bull will do it too. Let's not forget, this kind of back and forth has history in Formula One. Remember the double diffuser from Brawn GP in 2009? Legal, revolutionary, and ultimately banned. How about Mercedes' dual-axis steering in 2020? Legal at first, game-changing, then banned a year later. Every few years, someone finds the next big thing, and the sport scrambles to catch up or shut it down. That's where we are now. McLaren is ahead. Everyone else is scrambling. To add fuel to the fire, McLaren has also delayed bringing a new floor to their car. Why? Because the current Aero package is working that well. They're not chasing updates, they're protecting a winning formula. In Baku, the results were telling. Verstappen looked strong on Saturday, but on race day, he was off the pace. Lando Norris from P6 chased him down in clean air. Right now, this is Lando Norris's championship to lose, and if nothing changes, the rest of the grid might be fighting for second. But here's where it gets really interesting. This mini DRS won't work everywhere. Singapore, the tight corners and low-speed nature of the circuit mean that the benefit will be minimal. That's why Monza was a perfect showcase. All straight-line speed, all efficiency. But even small advantages stack up, especially across a 24-race season. So what will the FIA do? Crack down now or wait until 2025? Major regulation changes for flexing wings are scheduled for 2025. New stiffness requirements, new measurement procedures. But until then, the rulebook remains wide open for creative interpretation. If Ferrari and Red Bull implement their own flexible designs, we could witness a full-blown development war by the second half of the season. We've already seen what McLaren and Mercedes can do. With Red Bull and Ferrari joining in, the grid could become a battlefield of smart aero, with innovation deciding more than driver talent alone. And let's be honest, McLaren's engineering team deserves massive credit. They turned a midfield car into a title contender with pure intellect. While others upgraded and regressed, McLaren upgraded and surged. And their decision to wait on floor upgrades shows total confidence in what they've built. From CFD simulations to wind tunnel modeling to track execution, it's a masterclass. There's also the mental game. Imagine watching your rival pass you. Without DRS, that shakes confidence. That builds fear. McLaren hasn't just built a fast car. They've broken the psychological grip Red Bull held on the grid. And now, everyone's watching. Everyone's adapting. Or complaining. So, what do you think? Is this a clever loophole that should be celebrated, or a rule break hiding in plain sight? Should the FIA let the innovation stand, or ban it before it spreads? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We're tracking every twist in this developing story. Because what McLaren just did might be one of the smartest moves in modern F1. See you in the next one. Peace.